What's good, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. And on today's video we are doing the full review of the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. It's been a good couple miles in this shoe. Okay, I'm going for a run in just a second. I know I've run at least 140 miles in this shoe, so whatever I do today, it's going to be a good amount of miles in this shoe, and yeah, we're going to talk about it. All right, listen, I can't keep you in suspense for this whole running sequence that's coming up. I really like this shoe, okay? Let me just put that out there right now. I'm still enjoying it. I'm really liking it. All right, now that that's out of the way, guys, if this is your first time to this channel, my name's Matt. On this channel, we talk about all things running. If you like running, if you like running shoes, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, consider doing so right now and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Okay, let's go for a run. Then when we come back, we're going to finish talking about the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. Oh boy, today was the type of run that you wish for every single day. I mean, it was lovely. The skies are clear, the temperature is just perfect, not too hot, but not too cold. Don't really have to dress up, but there's still that little bit of, there's still a nip in the air. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was really perfect. And this was a fantastic run for me to really get the miles in to my Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. It's still a mouthful. I haven't got used to it after, well, hold on, let me tell you how many miles I've got in just a second. But today's run was 13.4 miles, which is about 21 and a half kilometers, an average pace of 805 a mile, which is about 501 a kilometer. With today's run, that puts 163 miles on my Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. And here they are, these beautiful shoes. I have so much to say about these shoes, but at the same time, I don't really have much to say about these shoes because I just really like them. 163 miles, and these have become the shoes that I can't wait to grab when I go out. I haven't bought another pair of shoes since I bought these, and I'm still rotating 4 other pairs of shoes, and I'm finding it very difficult to grab those other shoes when I have this. But I don't want to blow these out. I don't want to pour all the miles into these so quickly, even though I probably should, because they are the most comfortable and they just feel really good when I'm running. And I'm going to get more into how they feel in just a second. Let me just run over a couple of stats. So actually, you know what, I haven't weighed them this time. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see how much these weighs. I'll tell you that when we get inside. But they did shave off a whole ounce from the 4 to the 4.5. And just so you know, when Altra comes out with these half sizes, they make no changes to the outsole and the midsole. The only changes on the half sizes are on the upper. And I didn't run with the Altra 4 Plus, so I can't really compare those to this, but I don't have to because this is so perfect. The upper is a lovely knit. The tongue, you know what? The tongue is not gusseted. And every time I see a not or an ungusseted tongue, I think, why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just put a little bit of material in just to hold it in place, hold it in the middle? There is a couple of loops in the middle of the tongue, and I didn't notice any slippage whatsoever in the last 163 miles. So don't worry about it not being gusseted, makes no difference. It's a very comfortable tongue. It has a little notch right here, as you'll see in several running shoes now, which kind of just takes pressure off the top of your foot when you're running. I had absolutely no pressure. As I said, as I'm going to continue to say throughout this review, I found these shoes incredibly comfortable. Can't wait to grab them. We have 28 millimeters in the heel, 28 millimeters in the forefoot, giving this a drop of 0 millimeters. These are zero drop shoes. In case you didn't already know, all of Altra's are zero drop shoes. And this was my first pair of zero drop shoes. And I was a little worried. I was a little worried because I heard several things like, oh, Matt, you gotta ease into them. Don't go too far on the first run. Don't go too far on the first couple of weeks. Kind of run for a few miles, come back, put some other shoes on with a higher drop, and then take those out. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I have run several 20-mile runs in this shoe. They are comfortable for short runs. I don't know, what's the shortest I've done in these shoes? Maybe 5 miles, all the way up to 20 miles. And yeah, I didn't change them. I didn't ease into them. I immediately put them on and went out for, fairly long run, over an hour. And I haven't experienced any Achilles issues, calf issues. Really, I haven't noticed anything from this being zero drop to my other shoes. And my other shoes are generally around a 10 mil drop. I think right now, maybe the smallest I've got is an 8 mil drop in the Asics. But yeah, going straight to a zero drop was no problem whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be a problem for you. Be careful. I'll be that guy. Just ease into these shoes if you're not used to running in a zero drop. But I'm just also telling you that I didn't have any problems and I thought they were absolutely perfect. I loved them. You know what, with a zero drop shoe, I kind of find that I'm hitting more on my midfoot than I ordinarily would. Now, I'm not the most efficient runner. I don't even think I reach the midpoint of efficiency when it comes to running. I'm more on the inefficient scale of running. And I do tend to heel strike, especially when I get tired. But when I'm wearing these and I put it down to the zero drop shoe, and I really don't know why, but my heel is not touching the ground. Well, obviously I know why, because my foot is kind of landing like this. I don't have more material in the heel, which kind of, if my heel is dragging just a little bit, would automatically make them hit the heel first. With these, I am finding that I'm landing midfoot more often than not. In fact, I actually have to consciously think about heel striking to heel strike, which is great. Listen, I gotta get more of these shoes. All right, let me get inside. Did I tell you about the weather? No, I don't think I told you about the weather. It's beautiful out. Gorgeous, 66 degrees, which is less than 18, I didn't look it up. 18 and a half Celsius. Oh, beautiful, sun shining. It's a gorgeous day to take out these Altra Torin 4.5 Plush for their full review run. Okay, I'm gonna get inside and I will meet you when I'm cleaned up and we'll finish talking about these, tell you some more stats about them and, how it rides, that kind of thing. Everything you wanna know. All right, well, 163 miles in this shoe, 163 miles, and it feels like new. It feels like the day it was born. It is just as beautiful, and I am just as in love with it as I was when I first took it out of the box. Before we get too much further, I did mention the weight of the shoe, and I didn't know it when I was talking about it outside, but this shoe weighs in at 8.9 ounces for a men's size 9, and in my men's size 13, comes in at 11.2 ounces. One thing I do have to mention is the name, the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. Now, for the Altra Torin 4 Plush, there was also an Altra Torin 4 normal. But for the 4.5, they got rid of the Plush. Now the Plush is the only option. So the Plush is actually a little bit redundant, or if not redundant, then just not necessary, because it is the only version of the shoe. It just gives you another syllable that you have to tack onto the end and remember. But from now on, we will stick with the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush, but I wonder if Altra is going to make any changes for the Altra Torin 5. Will it be the Altra Torin 5, or will they keep that Plush on the end? Whatever, the Plush is absolutely true in the name. It is a plush feeling shoe. I already mentioned that I've taken this shoe out on several 20-mile runs, and even towards the end of those longer efforts, this shoe still feels remarkably soft and responsive, and it just feels good. Now this upper, this knit upper, is absolutely lovely. Okay, it totally locks in my foot. There are no hot spots, and it just feels good all the way around. I've seen some Altras in the past where the toe box was, I don't know, looks a bit like a clown shoe, when it's so wide on the front. And this is my first pair of Altras. I've only seen them on other people over the years, but I have to say, these shoes look bloody sharp. They look very smart, don't they? I think so. And as this is my video, it's really the only opinion that matters. Okay, but before we go on, this soft midsole, it's soft, yet it's still responsive. So obviously I run most of my miles very, very easy, but when I did pick up the pace, when I did pick it up to, I don't know, my picking up the pace nowadays is very, I'm not really putting in the effort, but I still occasionally pick it up to a tempo pace. Sometimes I'll do some intervals, and when I did it in this shoe, just the response was satisfying. You know what I mean? Like, it gives me what I'm looking for when I pick up the pace. It still feels really good. And I already mentioned that I'm not heel striking as much in this shoe, but obviously when you pick up the pace, you're not going to be heel striking anyway. You know, normally when you run a little bit faster, you tend to run more efficiently and run on your midfoot to forefoot. I feel like I'm jumping all around in this review, but let me just go back to the upper because, as I said, very pleased with it. But look at this heel counter, all right? Very squishy, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't think that gives any support. I'm telling you, it's the whole upper as a whole just locks your foot into place. And the heel counter, you don't notice that it's so soft. It is just, it's like a dream. It's like a dream wrapping your foot. It's really a pleasure to run in. All right, if you haven't already picked up that I am kind of enamored with these shoes, I really am. And I think you need to go ahead, go and buy a pair right now. I highly recommend it. Of course, this is my first pair. I would be interested to know, for those of you that have run with Altras quite often, if you've run in several different models, how do you find the other models compared to this? Because I find myself thinking that I like this Altra so much that I wonder if a shoe like the Escalantes or the Lone Peak, if I'm going to have a similar feeling of love for those models as I do for the Torin. I don't know. Definitely going to find out though. Again, jumping around, but this foot shape. This foot shape that Altra is known for. Now, I don't think I have foot-shaped feet, at least not obviously so. My feet don't splay out. My feet are quite narrow. And I don't actually notice on many of my shoes that I'm getting a lot of hot spots around my toes. Now, of course, there have been several. The Hoka Rincon comes to mind. I got a little rubbing on the outside of my little toe, but for most shoes they feel comfortable in the toe box. At least I thought they were comfortable, because when I put these on, this foot-shaped toe box really just enhances the comfort, and it's kind of like I didn't know I was uncomfortable until I put these on, and then the toe box with so much room is just, it's a breath of fresh air. A breath of fresh air. Okay, after 163 miles, they no longer are an actual breath of fresh air, but they will make your feet feel good. Are you wondering about the outsole after 163 miles? Good, let's have a look. Let me just focus on this. Look at this. Obviously these little pods kind of shaped to the metatarsals in your foot, and I think you can see that pretty well. After 163 miles, the wear is minimal. Look at this. The wear is absolutely minimal. Now, I've heard about people running in Altras for a long time, like really cranking up the odometer on these shoes. After, let's see, I've run 163 miles, the wear is barely noticeable. Like, if I scrubbed these with a toothbrush and really cleaned them up, I think they could pass as new shoes, even after 163 miles. Pretty impressive. Now, I did have a comment on my first video. Somebody said that after 200 miles, that plush feeling goes away. Now, I've only had one comment, so, you know, I don't know how much stock to put in it, but after 163 miles, the plush feeling is still there. The wear is very minimal. I'm gonna say 600 miles on these shoes. I don't know if I will actually keep them that long, just because I like to rotate my shoes, and you know, if they come out with an Altra Torin 5, probably likely to retire these and go to them or do a comparison review. Who knows? Anyway, guys, thanks for staying all the way to the end of the video. If you got any value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. I will see you in a couple days. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you next time.